Yo, what is good, YouTube? It's your boy Leach, back here with another reaction video. As y'all see by the title, Ohio State Buckeyes 2025 schedule prediction. Can we repeat as national champions? Let's get right into it and see what they gotta say.
All right, welcome back to the show. Our focus now turns to college football, where Ryan Day, the Ohio State Buckeyes, are the first champions of this current 12-team college football.
I think my Buckeyes are gonna go back to back. Y'all might call me crazy, but I feel like this team this year is more talented than last year's. I really do. Like
Playoff.
last year's team's like it's hard to
double digits.
I mean, they won it all. Like, it's hard to say,
Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame.
This is our schedule, though. We got Texas, Grambling, Ohio, at Washington, Minnesota, at Illinois, at Wisconsin, Penn State, at Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and the team up north on the road.
Michigan in Ann Arbor, November 29th.
I mean, it's not too bad of a schedule.
Dave Biddle and Tom Fornelli. We've got coverage for talking about this Buckeyes.
Let's see what they got to say.
Of course, 24/7 Sports has the lowdown in Columbus and Dublin, and Tom Fornelli from the Cover 3 podcast. Julian Sayin, a lot of hype coming around this transfer guy that was a former five-star recruit. Dave, what's the word on the street in terms of his impact potentially?
Attempted 12 passes last season for 84 yards and a TD, which this ain't garbage time, but still.
And, you know, really the vibe around here is that Julian Sayin is going to be a good quarterback for the Buckeyes.
I mean,
the question is when. I mean,
think,
he's just a redshirt freshman. Barely played last year. I think he threw maybe 12 passes last year. The talent is there, but the question is, when is he going to be good? Because they opened the season, obviously, with Texas. They have a tough schedule overall. So will he be good right away against Texas in the opener? That's a lot to ask. Even C.J. Stroud, when he was a redshirt freshman, kind of struggled out of the gate a little bit. So I think it's probably...
Yeah, that matchup week one, I'm a little bit nervous. Just because, like, it's going to be Julian Sayin's, first start. And his first start is going to come against, a Texas team really talented on the defensive end. They got Colin Simmons and Hill. They got a really good safety room over there. Corners as well. Like, just all around. Like, they're really complete on that side of the ball. And, yeah, that week one matchup, I'm really nervous
to
for.
Settle in later in the year at some point. And that's what Ohio State needs to hope is just this year he's a good starting quarterback because with the weapons around him, a good.
But when you have Jeremiah Smith,
if he's great,
Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate, Mylan Graham, like it's hard to be bad. Like you got James Peoples in the backfield.
Yeah, when you look at the situation with Julian Sayin, like he's a former five-star recruit and he's an Ohio State quarterback. So given the track record of quarterbacks at Ohio State over the last, 10, 15 years, he's probably going to be pretty good. But as Dave touched on, as a redshirt freshman without a ton of experience, there are going to be growing pains, or at least there typically are. When you start the season
as there should be. Like that happens.
Another team that is considered one of the favorites.
C.J. Stroud first took over, he wasn't the greatest, but you saw what he turned into. So.
And it's going to be very important to see how quickly.
But yeah, week one might be a loss. I'm not gonna lie.
For Ohio State to be competing for the Big Ten,
but I think we will win though.
To defend its national title.
Dave, if we get to the other side of the ball, defensive line potentially is an issue, but are reinforcements on the way?
The defensive line, they did a good job getting a couple guys at defensive end in the portal. They got Logan George from Idaho State. Yes, a big jump going from Idaho State to Ohio State, but he had a really good spring. They really liked him.
So we got Caden McDonald. I think he'll step up this year. And then you got Edric Houston. He's going to be due for a big breakout season. I mean, he's going to be a sophomore this season. Then your backups, you got Malone. And then you got Jason Moore. I don't really know too much about him, but Caden McDonald definitely gonna be solid. He's got big shoes to fill though, because Tyleek Williams off to the NFL, obviously. So yeah, the D line, I don't know if it will be as good as it was last year, but I think it'll still be good.
Bo Atkinson from North Carolina. Here's the rub.
They did get him Atkinson, that edge.
Look for a defensive tackle in the portal. He did have the caveat: we're not just gonna add someone just to add one. But he was not happy with the depth at D tackle leaving spring, and they were not able to find a defensive tackle in the portal. So now they're relying on the guys that they weren't really thrilled about coming out of spring as the top backups. They like their projected starters at defensive tackle.
Yeah, but the backups are low.
Houston, but they low like there, and they were not able to add a D tackle in the portal to help out.
You know, I will say, Dave, I've always heard the phrase, actions speak louder than words. And Ryan Day's words said we need more depth along the defensive tackle position. But the fact they didn't go out and get one while they added a couple guys at defensive end makes me think that maybe they're a little more comfortable with that position than they're letting on. But I certainly understand why there is a concern, because when you look at all the players that they had to replace on their defensive line, there is a lack of experience. There is not a lack of talent. Ohio State has done a very good job of recruiting and developing talent on the lines of scrimmage for years. And I would expect that while we may not see the overall potential or the performance of the line we saw last season with so many veteran players on it, I do think there is a high upside to the unit that they have. I do think that Edric Houston and Cade McDonald,
I'm confident in Cade McDonald and all them other guys. Edric Houston, like, I think they'll get the job done.
But I do think we'll see a lot of guys rotating.
But the thing is, will they be really, really good, or will they just be average? Like, we need them to be really good. I mean, if we really want to go back to back, I'm not worried about the secondary. The secondary is going to be stacked. You got Devin Sanchez, 5-star. He's going to start right away as a freshman. He's going to be really good. And you got Jermaine Matthews, too. You got Igbenogson still, who came back. You got Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese in that linebacker core, like. And then you got Jalen McLean back there in the safety room. So with Caleb Downs,
so I still like
the D-line definitely the biggest question.
Move a couple levels down. Who's going to be paired up with Caleb Downs, Dave, when it's all said and done, you think?
I think McLean.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be Jalen McLean, a rising sophomore. Also in the mix is Malik Hartford. That was like the one battle in spring that was really the really only open spot on defense, in my opinion, in spring, was those guys fighting to be the starter opposite Caleb Downs. I think it'll be Jalen McLean.
Yeah, Jalen McLean.
He flashed as a true freshman last year. I thought he outplayed Malik Hartford in the spring, but it's a close battle. Those guys will continue to battle. It gives them good depth. Whoever loses that battle, again, I think it'll be Malik Hartford who loses that battle, then becomes your top backup safety. So I think it'll be Jalen McLean. He's a guy, he's got speed, he's got toughness, young man from Jersey. Wasn't very highly ranked, but came in right away, even though he was not an early enrollee, and really turned some heads last year as a true freshman. Didn't play much.
That's what I'm saying. When you get your opportunity, you got to make the most of it, and Jalen McLean has, like,
got on the field a little bit. So I think it'll be Jalen McLean as a sophomore.
Yeah, if Dave's saying it's going to be Jalen McLean, I'm going to follow Dave's lead and say it'll probably be Jalen McLean. But the one thing I'm wondering is Matt Patricia has taken over at defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's another thing. New DC, obviously Jim Knowles left us, went to Penn State. He was trolling us, when he got to Penn State. Like, I can't really, flame him, bro, because, like, he did help us win a natty. But you know how talented our defense was last year? I mean, I'm pretty sure I could have been to DC and we would have won the natty. I ain't gonna lie. But probably not. But y'all get what I'm trying to say, though. But, yeah, Matt Patricia, it'll be interesting to see what he does with this job, how good he is at DC. Well, I think he'll be better than Jim Knowles. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think he's going to be a good defense coordinator, though.
State. We have seen in the past at the NFL level that Patricia's kind of gone with some 3 safety looks. So whether it's McLean, whether it's Hartford, I'm guessing both are going to see plenty of snaps.
Yeah, both will probably
use
play.
Caleb Downs as somewhat of his queen as a chess piece, move him around the board, put him in different spots based on certain matchups, and I think we could see both. But question I have for you, Dave, if I can go off script here, is I've heard good things about freshman Fahim Delane. What have you heard about him in camp so far this year?
Yes, I've been talking him up as well. I think he'll be on the 2 deep right away as a true freshman, Tom. I'm glad you brought him up. He came in, a young man that they were very high on to begin with, one of the right aways.
Wait, who did he say?
So far this year. I've heard good things about freshman Fahim Delane. What have you heard?
Oh, yeah, Fahim Delane. Yeah, he tough. Okay.
Yes, I've been talking him up as well.
I didn't even know who he said. Yeah, Delane. Like, I'm telling you, bro, there's so much talent on this team. Like, I think we can go back-to-back. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I feel like this roster is more just talented across the board than last year's. I mean, y'all might call me crazy, but I think this Buckeyes team can go back-to-back. Will it be easy? Hell no. It's college football. Nothing's easy, bro. But, there's just so much talent on this offensive end. There's a lot of talent in the defensive secondary. The D-line's the question mark. We'll see how that plays out. I'm really confident in the linebacking core with Arvell Reese. He's going to have a big season coming up. Going to be a dog. Then you got Sonny Styles, too. So there's a lot to be pleased with. I mean,
a young man that they were very high on to begin with, one of the top safety recruits in the country. He came in ready to roll physically, mentally. I think he'll be that next guy on the two deep. You know, and maybe he'll end up being the top backup. I think he'll be the second top backup, so to speak. But yeah, Fahim Delane's a guy that'll definitely be a player here at Ohio State.
Great follow-up there, Tom. Let's get to Ryan Day. And it's interesting because we have two lenses, right? We have Dave with the local lens, and then obviously Tom nationally, so that's podcast, message boards, the whole like. Because after Ohio State won the national championship, there were still some yeah-buts out there, mostly from those in Ann Arbor. Yeah.
Like, see, y'all Michigan fans, bro, y'all just pissed me off, bro. Like, oh, yeah, you won the natty, but you ain't beat us. Like, bro, like, we won the national championship, though. We don't care, bro. Game was in the past. It fueled us to the national championship. I mean, like, I can't really say this, but we're gonna beat y'all this year, bro. I know we say it every year, but it's gonna happen, bro. And Bryce Underwood, he talking all that ish over there. I mean, he hadn't even took a college snap yet, bro. You better watch your mouth, bro. This is not what you want, bro.
But you lost to Michigan, so what's it going to take for Ryan Day to maybe shed some of that, if he's still getting some of that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Ohio State fans are not going to be happy if he goes up to Ann Arbor and they lose for a fifth consecutive time to their.
Yeah, if we lose to Michigan this year, bro, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be hot, bro.
Arch rivals, but winning the national championship did buy him more time. Like, there's no way he would get fired for losing to Michigan this year. That being said, he'd love to get that monkey off his back, especially now that he, won the
Definitely
big prize.
needs to get that off his back.
If you're an Ohio State
for
fan
sure.
out there, I'm sure I don't speak for everybody, but I think most Ohio State fans, maybe 90.
But y'all dunked us in 2020 though. So you have that, and then after 2020, lost. So
10%. As much as that Michigan,
it's frustrating, Buckeyes fans,
take
but
a national championship
we're gonna get them.
over Michigan rather than beat that Michigan team last year and not win the national championship. Now, obviously, Ohio State fans want both. I think this year you got to temper your expectations a little bit if you're an Ohio State fan. I think the expectation should be compete for a Big Ten championship, beat Michigan, make the college football playoff, see where the chips fall. This is not a natty or bust season like they were saying it was last year.
Yeah, it's not a natty or bust season. Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Yeah, what he just said was facts. Yeah, it's not a natty or bust season. Which we want to go back to back, which I think we can go back to back, but we have to worry about, team up north, Big Ten championship and then playoffs. So we'll see how it falls.
Which that really puts a target on your back. You already have a target on your back when you're Ohio State. When you're saying natty or bust, it worked out. But his job is certainly not on the line. I mean, winning the national championship, Buckeye fans are really, really behind him now. But you can't lose too many straight to Michigan. I do think they're going to go up there and get the job done this year, but who knows? I thought the same thing last year.
So
that's what I thought last year, but that's something about these rivalry games. Michigan was horrible last year. They had a horrible record, but when you can mess up someone's season, bro, that's where that fight comes from. That energy, like. Every game is hard. I don't care how bad the team is. Like, it's not easy, bro. Unless, you're playing, like, some horrible school, that's don't got that much talent. But, yeah, I think we're going to be Michigan this year. I know last year was a disappointment, but we have to get over that hump sooner rather than later. So.
Schedule for the Buckeyes here. So, Tom, why don't you lay out the wins and losses?
And here we go.
Involves a win against Michigan, which you do not have.
No, I do not. The way I look.
Bro, come on, Tom. Bro, you got us losing to Michigan, dog. I understand the Texas loss. I think we will lose to Texas, in my opinion. So you got us losing against Texas, beating Grambling, beating Ohio, beating Washington, beating Minnesota, beating Illinois, beating Wisconsin, beating Penn State, which we own Penn State. Purdue, easy. UCLA will be kind of a challenging game. Obviously, they got Nico now. Rutgers, they're usually a pretty solid team. They're not obviously that good, but, they can compete, Same with Illinois. They got Luke Altmaier. Like, that's not going to be an easy win at all. I'm not saying Rutgers is good. I'm saying, like, you never know. They could upset you. Like, I'm just saying.
It is, if they couldn't beat Michigan last year, I'm not picking them to beat Michigan until they actually do.
But it's a new year, though, Tom. It's a new year, bro.
And I think that the Wolverines will be improved. But I think overall, you look at how I have the schedule breaking out. You start that game with Texas. You finish with Michigan. I have them losing both and winning all 10 games in between. That should still be good enough to get you into the Big Ten championship game. That will definitely be good enough to get them into the playoff. And hey, you can argue losing that game to Michigan last year kind of woke them up and, got their attention and helped.
Well, it woke us up because we were still in the playoffs. That's why. And they're like, okay, it's real now. We're in the playoffs. And then we went on that run, which was crazy. We destroyed everyone that was in our way. And I mean, Tennessee, Oregon. We absolutely smacked everyone. Texas and obviously Notre Dame. But yeah, I understand the Texas loss, but I don't think we lose to Michigan, though. I do think Texas... And there's questions with Texas, too, with Arch Manning. Like, how good is he going to be in his, first time, really starting a game against a really top-tier opponent? You know what I mean? So, we'll see how it works out. But, that game's in Columbus. So, I think we can still beat Texas. But, it's up in the air for me. But we're beating Michigan this year, bro.
On that run through the college football playoffs. So
there's just no way we lose to them again.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for this Buckeyes team going forward.
That was their recipe for success last year. Is exactly what Tom is laying out here. If they can go 10-2, including, oh gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this, with the loss to Michigan, that's the recipe for them to win the national championship in this new age of college football.
It is
like college basketball to me, where if you're like a Duke or North Carolina fan, it's like, man, you could lose to Duke. If you're a North Carolina fan, like 3 times, including the ACC championship game, if you beat them in the tournament, you win the national championship, you're feeling great. It's just crazy what's happened with college football.
Yeah, it is.
Exciting. This is a tough schedule. At Illinois is a game not a lot of people are talking about.
Yeah, see, it's exactly what I said. Illinois is going to be a tough game. That's on the road. Luke Altmaier is phenomenal. They're really well coached up there at Illinois. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, 100%.
That'll be tough. Illinois is really good last year. They'll be better this year. It's a tough place for Ohio State to play at Illinois. Washington, I think, is going to be good. They have to go at Washington.
Yeah, Washington could be rough, too.
They'll host Penn State and then at Michigan. It's a tough schedule, my friends.
It certainly is indeed.
But we own Penn State, though. But you never know. They got Drew Aller back. Drew Aller, I meant to say, I pronounced his name wrong. Yeah, Drew Aller, and they got both of them running backs back in Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. So they still have that 1-2 punch over there in Penn State.
Blind Day breaking news. It never happened. And then Dave goes on a nice heater covering this team. 4 straight wins to the Natty. All right, guys, certainly appreciate it. Dave Biddle and Tom Fornelli with an eye on the Ohio wins to the Natty.
All right. But that's going to do it, though, for Ohio State Buckeyes 2025 schedule prediction. They got us going 10-2. But it makes the playoffs and the Big Ten championship game. But, I think Texas is going to be the story of the season. We'll see how that game goes. If we can beat Texas by like maybe 2-3 scores, in that first game, I mean, that's putting a notice out there to college football, in my opinion. Then Michigan, obviously, man, we gotta beat them. Like, I want to say we're gonna beat them, but I really can't because I've said it the last I don't even know how many years, but yeah. But yeah, it's not gonna be an easy schedule. Penn State got a new DC at Jim Knowles. Illinois is gonna be a tough one on the road. Washington on the road. Just some tricky games in that schedule. But I can't really disagree with this schedule prediction because we haven't beat Michigan. And Texas. They're still mad about that playoff loss that they suffered against us. So a lot on the line for Texas in that first game. Same with Michigan, obviously, all the time with them and us. But yeah, make sure y'all follow the socials on the screen. And let me know in the comment section down below. What are y'all's thoughts on this? Do y'all think we could go undefeated? I don't know yet. Just let me know. But that's gonna do it for this reaction though. Make sure y'all subscribe, like the video, and I'm out. Peace.